the Louis Diaz podcast.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Such an honor to be in the greatest laneway in all of Melbourne.
Yeah, it's definitely the most popular.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to talk about the podcast for a second there. I was like, God, don't say the greatest podcast.
no.
You're not going to say that, are you? And then you were like, laneway, and I was like, oh, fucking cunt.
It is interesting how there's like a drug and
Yeah,
rehabilitation thing going on.
the living room is there. So yes, exactly. You're talking about the greatest laneway in Melbourne. The living room is a drug and alcohol rehab kind of homelessness
Yeah.
place, I guess. It's there to serve the community, which is awesome in that community. Hence, you get the characters and their dogs and stuff. Then you got Culture Kings just there,
Oh,
right? And sometimes,
course.
like Culture Kings will have like a celeb doing signings
oh wow.
and stuff.
Oh wow. That's cool.
And then you've got Movida next door, just down there, which attracts a lot of, affluent people that, can. I bought two beers and a bowl of Bravas, which is like Spanish
oh yeah.
fries,
Oh, yeah.
Spanish wedges.
Potato bravas.
Yeah, it's a sexy name for wedges in Spanish. Papas Bravas. And $70. $70, bro.
Cost you $70.
$70.
Fucking hell, shit.
Yeah, bro.
That's wild.
I bought them for my guest. It was a guest that I had on. And I was like, oh, let's just go there, have a feed, and fucking shoot the shit a bit more after the recording. I was like, I just spoke to you for 2 hours for free.
Well, that's why I brought food.
Yeah. Well, he didn't bring food that time either.
So you bought... Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. He's a good dude. Not to say that you're not or no one else is, but I don't know. I just felt obliged to just keep shooting the shit for a bit.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome.
Thanks.
Adam. It's Adam, isn't it?
It is Adem
Ulutas.
Ulutas,
Okay.
which is...
I knew I was going to fuck that up.
Nah, it's all right, man. It's spelt wrong.
Ulutas.
We spell it wrong on purpose.
Yeah, to fuck with us. white
Yeah.
boys.
Well, we fuck with ourselves. It's very bad.
Where are you from?
We're idiots. Turkey.
You Turkish?
My family.
Oh, Turkish. Oh, hence the shirt. Now
Oh,
I'm
no.
getting an Istanbul vibe from that shirt.
This is from Bali.
Okay,
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. I stole it.
You did?
Yeah, it's so easy to steal stuff there.
Why?
There's
Is
just
this
no
it cheap?
Yeah, but you got to be a local.
Are you not wanting to paint that picture of yourself too soon, yeah? Please tell me that you did something good for the community while you were over there.
Yeah.
Or
I did an open mic.
You did?
Oh yeah.
Well, then then you earned your shirt. There we go.
Yeah, man. I used to drive Uber.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and since then I don't pay charity.
You don't pay charity.
No, I don't do charity after that. That as soon as you've been an Uber driver, you're done. You're
Yeah.
like people vomiting in your car. You got to pick up random. It's the worst job on earth for such little payoff.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I was thinking about this last night when I was in an Uber and it stunk, right? Because the driver stunk.
Yeah.
And
I got a freshener that makes it smell.
nice or bad. Are you saying that there's an artificial way to stink your car up?
Yes. You got to make it more authentic.
Yeah, okay. Is there different like nationalities on the boxes? Like when you walk into the fragrance, the perfumifier, whatever you call it. Is there like this one's a Turkish, this one's Indian,
For sure.
this one's Pakistani?
Yep.
Which one did you have in the car that day?
I had the it's
Where
not
is
going
this
to go
going?
anywhere good, is it? It's just blatant racism.
Racism.
I pick a Turkish with a little bit of Iranian.
Right.
Yeah.
A blended mix.
You got
Yeah.
to. We're a blended people.
T2. T2's new range of fragrances. That's so good.
When they've got like aromas for tea and aromas for taxis.
Yes. Oh, wow. Much needed, of
Taxi
course.
too.
But I thought they were positive aromas, like, floral aromas. I didn't think that was like, extra stenchifying. But yeah, I was thinking when I was in this Uber last night, I was thinking Uber's really changed, hasn't it? Now, I'm thinking all the way back to when Uber was first introduced here. And I'm going to say it was either maybe 14, 15, 16, somewhere in that bracket, right? And the thing about Uber is it was new and it was sexy and they were marketing the shit out of it. But also it gave an opportunity to all of these people that, were looking for an extra income stream.
Yeah.
And what was happening was that Uber was really winning people over on, use us, not taxi, because of the customer experience of it. So you'd walk into like a Toyota Camry or a RAV4 back then, right? And it was spotless.
Yep.
Like it had been, like detailed throughout the day.
Yeah.
There was water bottles sitting in the water bottle holders that are in the doors. There's some in there. Like, choose your water bottle. You're only going 10 minutes down the road.
That's right.
And then there was like, oh, would you like gum, sir?
That's right.
It's like, yeah, they're giving you gum. They're giving you Tic Tacs. I was like, taxis are doomed.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2025. Bro, I can't even tell the difference anymore.
Yeah.
One of them's just got the meter running. And you're like, I just paid $17 for him to just start the car.
Yeah.
And that's the only difference now.
Yeah, I got a taxi at home. And we just turn it on, and then if people sit in it, then we just charge them. It works.
I can vouch for that.
It just works.
I can vouch for you. Hey.
Yeah, we're getting the
paparazzos. The laneway paparazzos are stalking us.
What do you think they think of us? Do you think they're like, oh...
They think you're famous.
I'm a pseudo-intellectual, so it's fine.
Okay. What does that mean?
That means I look smart, but I act dumb. No, or is it the other way?
I look dumb.
I look dumb, act smart.
Yeah. You are a pretty smart guy. You do comedy, and that takes a level of critical creative thinking, but also you run rooms. You're a hustler. And that's smart.
Yeah. Look, I'm the 50 Cent of Smith Street.
Without the bullet wounds.
Exactly. Well, yeah. The bullet wounds each time you bomb on stage. You just
right.
Yeah, you're just copping it.
The 50 cent of Smith Street. So that's where you run your room. Talk to us.
Smith Street. Yeah. Smith Street's like it's kind of like an extension of this street.
Oh yeah. Smith Street. Like it was notoriously like the roughest of the three main streets, or the four main streets of Fitzroy. There was Brunswick, which was a bit more upmarket and hip, and then there was sort of Johnson and Gertrude, which both lead you to Smith, and as you start at Brunswick and go along Johnson and Gertrude, both of those streets start to get a bit more Smithified until you eventually end up on Smith.
Yeah, I think it was like a dungy area. Previous to
sketchy as
to my like me noticing it, hanging out, and they used to have a comedy club on the corner.
What was it
called The Last Laugh,
right?
And all the structural stuff is still there. So if you go into like the place, it's like a nightclub now, but if you go in there, there's still like the stage and all that. They didn't get rid of it.
So it could come back one day. It could do like a full circle, end up as comedy again.
Well, the cartel's taken over.
Is that called the comedy cartel? Comedy cartel or something?
I mean, like, just people selling drugs.
Oh, okay.
That's.
Right. Sorry.
It's just if you can get those people out, then comedy can make a run for it. So it's like a nightclub now.
Is it actually still sketchy, that area? Because I thought that's some prime real estate. I thought all the gentrified mofos would have just edged all the sketchies out by now.
Oh, I don't think you can really, because
it's so close to Collingwood too.
Yeah. We're in Collingwood.
Right.
Yeah. So you got like flats, and then you got junkies, and then you got hipsters. It's quite a mixture of unprofitability. It's just like, what are we doing here?
Your target market. Yeah, you didn't think that through, did you?
Well, it was a room.
All right.
It was a room,
so
and then it had existed before me.
But you didn't pick up on the was bit, not still is.
A lot of people give it shout outs. We got a shout out from Ronnie Cheng.
Who's Ronnie Cheng? Sorry, Ronnie.
Good question. Doesn't matter. Just a comedian.
Yeah, big comedian.
Yeah, kind of big.
Got a fly on my mic. It's pissing me off. Hey, listen, I'm going to take a second to thank my audience for being here. Welcome back to another episode of the Louis Diaz podcast. I love doing this podcast, man. I really do. And you know what I love about it is just watching, there's part of it that I love the production, of course, but I love watching it grow because I'm not a internet guy. And I took on the whole content creation thing as a real challenge because I'm not internet savvy. And I don't have a big following in my personal life. I'm not a professional comedian or something, an act that attracts an audience. So it was a formidable kind of challenge for me to start at 0 subs. You know what I mean? And be like, how are you going to work this? And now I've got 200, as of right now, I've got 217 subscribers, people from all over the world, Australia, United States, the UK, and then people in Ireland and Germany are watching this, and the Netherlands I saw the other day. Which is pretty sick. And so I'm really grateful for everyone that's here. If you're here for the first time and you haven't yet subscribed, please do me a favor. You're going to love the content. You're going to learn things about life and people's journeys and experiences. And if you don't want to do that, just give us a thumbs up or even leave a comment just to tell us who you are and where you're from. That would be super appreciated. You also might be listening on Spotify or Apple. You can do those too. Love ya.
Yeah.
Peace. That's my little shout out to the audience. I think they deserve it.
Man, I used to try and get people on my YouTube channel. I used to get open mics and just try and promote it. It was bad.
What do you mean it was bad?
I would just be on stage and be like, can you pull out your phone and subscribe?
Yeah, I saw someone do that the other night. Get your phone out and follow me. Like literally stop the show to do get your phone out and follow me. And I thought that is ballsy.
It works sometimes.
That's ballsy.
I used to do it in the car when I was driving Uber. I'd just be like...
You kidding?
I'd be like, do you want to go to your destination? Follow me.
For real?
But
how good
it's all fake,
I'm going to keep you hostage until you sub.
So yeah, subscribe.
You're in my car now and the doors are locked, motherfucker.
That's how Mr. Beast did it. That's what he said. I saw him say it on an interview.
You're kidding. No. See, I'm so gullible. I don't know when people are messing with me.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's all the same.
Mr. Beast didn't do that.
It's still reality when you...
Well,
if it's on this podcast,
it could be anything.
Said.
It could be anything. You're right.
It's lived experience now.
Well, you exactly. You got to fact check everything these days. But he didn't say that. I was watching a Mr. Beast thing the other day.
Yeah.
He pops up because I'm a content creator.
Yeah. You're addicted to YouTube.
Well, they force you into being addicted to it because they hit you with all these metrics and it's a very good platform.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why it's successful and why there's many others that have come along and tried to take some market share from YouTube and some sort of are succeeding, but YouTube's just built this thing. It's a brand. It's 20 years old. Did you know that?
Yeah.
20 years of YouTube.
That's crazy.
So that's half of my life. YouTube's been around.
Oh my God.
And when YouTube came out, I was in first year of film and television school, like film school.
Wow.
Yep, at Swinburne.
Oh
right.
My God.
So I'm going to film school, learning how to produce, film.
Yeah.
Right. But every single one of the students there, your goal, because YouTube doesn't exist. So your goal is to end up on a movie set and end up like a huge director, like, or cinematographer. Those were the two things that people wanted to be. Or then maybe third, a writer. But those were the top three things. And you were looking at the greats of the greats. Anything from like a Jim Jarmusch kind of art house kind of director to like your really big directors. It was the guy who was doing the ones with Owen Wilson, and it was Wes Anderson. Anderson. Everyone wanted to be the next Wes Anderson fucking hipster director.
Yeah.
And, then there's Tarantino, who just came out with the Kill Bills a few years earlier.
Oh my God, Kill Bills.
And so everyone was aspiring to do that. Little did we know that we were acquiring a skill set that was going to be way more valuable as an indie creator only 10 years later.
Yeah. I went down to Casey Neistat.
Oh, you did? Everyone goes down to Casey Neistat rabbit hole.
Yeah, I learnt nothing. I can officially say I learnt nothing. You just look at him and you're like, this guy, he's great. He makes like these videos, but I don't know. Like if you're gonna replicate what he did, you're gonna go crazy.
You know, it's like it's very hard to replicate what those guys did
Yeah.
because when you listen to the Casey Neistat story, and I think I caught the episode that he did with Stephen Bartlett, and I don't love the what's his podcast called, the fucking entrepreneurial one, Diary of a CEO.
Okay.
Diary of a
There we
CEO.
go.
I don't love that podcast. Because I'm sort of a little bit like, corporate culture is a little bit embellished sometimes in society, but so I don't like the title. And Stephen as an interviewer, he's okay. He's so, but he pulls big guests, and one of them was Casey Neistat, and it was a 3-hour long episode. And what he does really well, and I'll give you a shout out because I know you're watching Stephen Bartlett, is that he does his research on.
Fuck Stephen Bartlett.
Well, this could be in like 20 years' time. He could be watching this. So he does his research really well on guests, and he was picking apart. Like Casey's story. And when you listen to like Mr. Beast and Casey Neistat's stories, is that there was some point where they were at like a rock bottom desperation moment in their life, and they had to take some enormous risk. And when you listen to Casey Neistat, his was that he already had a kid, and his missus was getting a bit fed up with him, and he decided just to move to New York and just try, and he wanted to be a filmmaker, a photographer or something.
That'll do it, man. Have a kid.
Yeah.
That's... If you ever wanted to get success,
But there's some...
have a kid.
Well, I think the responsible guys in life will go and get a job and just be a good dad and just be there. But some of us just worked out that that's not us. Like, we're not good at that.
Yeah.
I look at other dads these days and I'm like, I'm not that dad because I'm a dad.
Yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard because you become like risk averse. You like don't want to lose your income.
You don't want to lose your family.
But then you can't really make anything good unless you do risk
Exactly.
things. So you got to like, I don't know. It's like kind of in comedy. Like if you're willing to bomb, then you'll make something funny. But if you're not, then you won't.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I reckon there's probably nothing more intimidating and gut-wrenching than bombing. Now, that's not coming from experience, but I've seen people bomb, and I was like, fuck, you have got big kahunas, because I couldn't do that. I wouldn't come back after that. Like,
Well, you
know what I
have.
mean.
You probably have. You probably bombed in front of your friends.
yeah.
You just come back all the time.
The most relatable is when you sort of go and hit up a chick at a nightclub and she shuts you down in front of your friends. That's probably the most relatable thing that's ever happened to me. But that's not
Yeah.
to an audience that's
See,
paid to see me.
Yeah, I always blame it on the music.
What? Yeah, no. I didn't. No. Anal.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretending that you can somehow blame it on the music.
Yeah. That's great.
How do you do that? Oh, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So welcome back to the Christian podcast.
Yeah. We're
Jehovah's Witness
it's
podcast.
the day before Good Friday.
It is.
Yeah.
This won't be out for about 7 weeks though, bro.
Okay. It's the day before Christmas Eve.
Christmas in July Eve.
Christmas in July, yeah.
Probably
Hey,
closer to that.
A nice holiday. I like that little holiday. I was actually walking past one of the churches. You been to the churches
That
here?
big one in the
Oh
corner.
my god, so nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love the architecture.
Are you religious?
I'm trying to be.
That's fair.
Yeah, comedy's pushing me towards it's
The most unconservative art form of all is pushing me towards conservatism.
It is weird. Amongst a group of atheists, you do find a doctrine. You have to. You got to like separate yourself with some sort of creed. And I don't know. It's just so hard having like a debate with someone, which is what I love debating people. It's just hard to debate people that don't have a sense of faith. So
Oh yeah, there's a saying which is relatable. It's on a tangent but relatable. Like, it's very hard to win an argument against someone who's a genius or very intelligent.
yeah,
It's impossible to win an argument against someone that's stupid.
I'm that one.
Glad we clarified that. I'm glad we got there. You know, it didn't take 2 hours for us to get there.
Nah, yeah. Well, as Socrates says, those that are
Pseudo intelligent.
yeah.
Fucking
Neo.
Socrates.
I'm a Neoplatonist, I guess.
What is that?
Oh, it's like Plato was like a writer,
Right, yeah, Plato, yeah.
and Neo is like a guy from the Matrix.
Yep.
So when you mix them together,
You get
you get
Neoplatonist.
what I just said. He's the
Dodging
yeah.
bullets.
I guess the Matrix is like kind of like a real thing.
For sure. We're
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
Matrix,
yeah.
bro. Hang on. Well, wait a sec. Let's not go on too much of a tangent from the debating thing.
The debating.
Yeah, you were talking about debating. You like
Oh,
debating
yeah.
people. You got this doctrine. You're trying to be religious.
Oh yeah. I guess it all ties in. You know, everything's related.
Mm.
But yeah, I do like debating people. It's so fun. But I also have stopped
Why?
because I hate myself.
When you, but in general, or when you debate people?
Just,
Sorry.
you know how you like
Let's
have
not
like
get-
all these things in life,
Mm.
and you go, "Oh, this is going well," and then you say, "Well, I don't need this thing," so you just delete it.
Okay. Can you elaborate? on it?
Debating it goes well for me.
Oh,
It's so fun,
yeah.
but I can't. It's so bad for you.
Oh,
It's a vice.
It's the wrong energy.
It's a vice. You just capitulate. Like you go home and then you start having the conversation again, and that's when you know you're crazy. You're like, oh yeah, I could have said this, and then when you see him again, you say it.
But it's over.
They're like,
And
what
it's
are you
over.
talking
Yeah,
about?
exactly.
And you're like, I really just wanted to say that. I thought of it later.
But they weren't stewing over it as much as you were.
No, because the
time has passed.
they've forgotten. They've
They're
quite
saying-
rightly put it into a corner,
Yeah.
and
Grasped
I'm in the
onto it.
naughty corner. That's where I am. I
Yeah.
live in I live in that corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people try to debate me. I'm like the most controversial figure in all of Melbourne.
Hang on. Okay. What? I didn't know this.
Oh,
I didn't get enough time
Oh.
between all the nights out
No,
and going
no.
to the festival to do like a good amount of research on you.
it's fine. Did that? I don't mean like they're not meaningful issues.
No, I like it. I like getting to know people before they sit down in front of me. But I didn't know you were that big into debating. This is new. Like I have no idea. You're pretty new to me anyway. But like,
It is a weird
controversial
introduction. That is
figure?
a weird. No, I'm not controversial. I'm not really that controversial. I'll just debate. I'll just like argue with people. Which
for fun, for kicks.
look, when I realized I was doing it, you know, when you don't realize you're having like a conversation with someone, and then it somehow leads to you having
an
a
opinion.
Yeah, you're just like, how did I do that?
Yep.
Sometimes you just do it. It's like magic.
Yeah.
But I figured out that you just don't like if they're like getting excited,
Excited.
yeah, in any type of way,
Emotional.
any emotion,
Okay.
that you just walk away.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard
You
because
just-
you're there in it now.
You just got to walk away. There's nothing. Oh no, I haven't spoken since
Smoke.
20 years old. I think.
Good.
Smoked.
Yeah, stay away.
No,
from it.
16. I smoked my last cigarette when I was 16.
That's good.
I made a decision. I was like, I can't live like this anymore,
Mm.
and then had to get rid of it.
Yeah. No, it's good. I don't know why I started doing it.
It's look, when you find that out, you'll probably like find out why you start doing pretty much
Most
everything.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you figure that out,
Definitely.
yeah. As soon as you figure that out. So yeah, I quit coffee. I quit coffee like 4 weeks ago. I'm
You've
fucked.
become religious. You've quit smoking ages ago, but still, you quit coffee.
Yeah.
You're a disciplined man.
Oh well.
You're just 100% locked into debating people now. That's it.
No. I've quit
You
debating.
quit
I've
debating?
quit it.
I've
I
quit
quit
debating?
It. I quit it.
Quit
I'm
Quit all your vices.
yeah. Yeah, man. I've gone through a journey. I'm a reformed man.
That's great. Okay, all right. Well, let's talk about you then. All right. Well, tell us. What's the reason?
We can just shit talk. It's fine.
Well,
Yeah.
some of my episodes are, but there's always something really good of value there. What's with the reform? Talk to me about where are you at now in your life? You said you hate yourself, and I didn't like hearing that because I don't think anyone should ever too much. I believe I'm on a path of what do you call it? Like self-compassion. I'm on a self-compassion path because I've been very hard on myself in the past. Like I would go on dates with chicks and they'd be like, "Fuck, you're so hard on yourself." Like,
self-compassion.
Yeah. You're like, what is that?
I'm just trying to imagine it. So you're being kinder to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like when you mess up or when you made a mistake, that you don't exacerbate the mistake by beating yourself up about it. Like it's already like, fuck.
It's already happened.
And I think like I talked to Sween Young about this, comedian, psychologist, and he talks about rumination versus problem solving because he follows this New York psychologist guy named Michael J. Greenberg who talks about rumination versus problem solving. Because naturally, as humans, we like to solve problems and we solve problems by thinking about things, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But at what point does that detract value from your life? Does it not being problem solving anymore? Now it's just rumination. That's where you start beating yourself up about something that you did 2 years ago or getting in that naughty corner bit again, talking about the thing that you could have said to that guy, right? When you start to develop or a practice of self-compassion, it takes you away from like, oh, fuck, all right, just make dinner and go to bed. And tomorrow's a new day. It's a journey.
Yeah. Well, that's why you like go down like the, faith road. You go down to like the repentance road. You start having conversations with God.
Yeah. So you're a Christian now?
Am I Christian?
Yeah. Or what's your faith
I'm not a Christian.
Choice?
No. I'm just I'm window shopping.
Oh, right. Which stores have you sort of walked past? Which shops have caught your fancy?
I think, look...
You were talking about the churches before.
There's definitely, like, obviously Christianity's got, like, a big influence on Western culture.
100%.
It's just, I think we attribute some things to Christianity that, like, don't necessarily have those characteristics in them.
Like what, for example?
I mean, like, we'll just say things as, like, a turn of phrase, but we don't really know the origin of where it comes from, and we'll just attribute it to Christianity. We'll just be like, oh, well, that's got to be a religious thing, but it might be like a It might be like a Greek thing. Do you know what I mean? Like an ancient Greek thing, which Christianity's adopted. Like I know there was like Aristotle.
Yeah, sure. Or philosopher.
Yeah, Aristotle is
Greek.
like
Philosopher.
Greek guy. Yeah. They are like the Muslims and the Christians both try to use Aristotle to prove their religion.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. What's your background?
Which country am I from?
Yeah, which country? Yeah.
Venezuela. Very Catholic country.
Venezuela. What are they
it's
like?
It's on the top of South America next to Colombia.
Yeah. They're like Italian?
There was a big Italian immigration after the Second World War.
Yeah.
So there's a big Italian sort of, I guess, community there. But yeah, it's European kind of, once it was colonized, Latin America was colonized. It was colonized by the Spanish mostly. And then, Brazil got the Portuguese. But they were all very religious. They come from those very religious.
They got that
Christian kind
called Vatican influence, don't they?
Yeah.
That Catholic influence.
Yeah, big Catholic influence there. Have you ever been to Spain?
I have been to Spain.
Did you ever go past Salamanca? There's a city in the middle somewhere called Salamanca.
Does that have a bank?
That is Santander.
Okay.
And that is in the north of Spain, west of Bilbao. Ooh, pulling out some geography. But yeah, Salamanca has got like enormous cathedrals. Like, this one like the one on the corner there, pales in comparison. And it's got many of them.
Wow.
And so like their thing that they went through in that phase of history, like they were just building these monuments to God, because the whole thing about it is like the higher the tower, the closer you are to heaven.
Yeah. I heard that's a Catholic thing. They like to have the highest fucking point.
It's like Melbourne, like when it builds a building, it's like, oh, it's the highest now.
Yeah.
And then Eureka, and then they build another one next to it that's now the highest.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as they've finished the highest, someone else is fucking planning the higher one.
Yeah, Catholicism is really interesting. They are kind of like I don't know, like compared to the Australian Christians, they're much more to the book.
But they've got so much more history than Australia.
I mean, like in comparison to like Protestantism in Australia, it's like
Right, yeah. The overwhelming.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's kind of like a Catholic country.
Well, the Catholic Church did a really great job of like branching out into whatever country it could.
Yeah.
You know, and like being
Yeah,
the religion.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I guess fighting against other religions where they were welcome.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you know,
Well, that's not right to say that. They weren't fighting, but you know.
well, there's definitely like
Establishing
there's definitely
themselves.
fighting that happens, like religious wars for sure.
Yeah. Fair.
Like well, there was like King Henry VIII. He like made the Church of England.
Didn't know that. I know nothing about King Henry.
So King Henry VIII was like the guy that had like 8 wives, and
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about King Henry.
he tried to like divorce. He tried to get an annulment, and then the Pope was like, "Nah,
What, on all 8?
nah." It was like on the first one, and the Pope was like, "Nah," and then he was like, "Well, I'm just gonna make my own religion,"
Oh, the Church of England.
and that's how you get the Church of England.
So I can't break the rules of this kind of religion, so I'm going to make my own, where
Yes.
I can bend the rules.
Well, mend,
Bend.
mend, create. Yeah, that's the origins of.
Divorce.
Well, I guess so. No, you could get a divorce. He just wasn't granting him one.
Right. Yeah, because he's the king and he's got to be an example for society. And it's like, well, you can't just bail on your wife. Bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to.
That's the only one that
Do your
lived.
part.
That's the only one that lived. The rest
The
of
one oh what?
yeah.
I'm getting a history lesson here.
That's the only one that lived.
So by the
They kept
time you're
delivering.
like the 5th wife, have you not cottoned on to like what's happened to the other wives?
Well, it's Elon Musk, isn't it?
Go ahead.
He's just having. How many kids does he have?
God knows.
What
I've
are they,
heard it's a
what
lot.
are they going to say? They're not going to say no. He's like the fucking strongest. Like he's the richest man in the world.
What these women.
They're going to be like, oh, that was just the other. That's just the other women. They're just.
Yeah.
They
Well,
just
he
didn't
had-
know how to please him.
His son that he's carrying around with him a lot these days is the one that he had with Grimes, the DJ, the artist, the music
Oh,
artist.
I didn't even know. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like they were an item for a bit, and now you don't really hear anything of her and him having much to do with each other. But he's got custody of the kid, or probably they share. I don't know how it works.
Yeah. I think he's got like 15 kids or something.
Yeah,
Like an exorbitant amount of kids.
and he can afford them.
Wow.
I suppose.
It depends how.
I mean,
It depends on your kids' needs.
not that you need to be a billionaire to afford kids these days.
It is crazy how the billionaire does have the most kids. There was some guy in, I think, in Africa. I saw some YouTube video,
kidding.
and he just kept impregnating people. He had like 120 kids.
That's wild.
That's the best. That's surely there's like some mogul that's like running a cult in country Victoria that's got like crazy amounts. Like we seem to forget that there's cults in society.
Yes, we do forget. That
We
there's
just forget it.
cults.
We're like, oh, that can't happen.
Yeah. There's cults locally. I was hanging out with this chick because I started going to church last year, and I was hanging out with this chick from church, and we were all walking, and she was talking to me about a friend of hers that was basically indoctrinated into a cult, and I was like, well, here in Melbourne, and she's like,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
and light me.
Melbourne's very clicky.
How does that happen? How does that happen? Yeah, it's more than just click.
It's culty.
It's culty. It is very culty. And she was like, yeah, she was just at Melbourne Central Station one day, and I
Yep.
was like, so in the heart of the city, and she was like, yeah, in the heart of the city. Her friend just was, I don't know, on her way into the station. She was just walking around, killing some time. These people approached her and started talking,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they were really charismatic, and they started talking to her about all this stuff, and then suddenly she was involved. Like before you know it, like before she knew it, she was in deep.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, how do you get out of that? Like, because it's invisible. It's not like these cult people, for example, walking around in a robe that says, I'm in a cult. It's not like they're advertising.
Yeah.
Like, they could be here right now. Could be any of these people walking past, and you wouldn't
Yeah.
know.
I guess you.
That's scary.
Yeah, you like get into it like it's like a series. You know, you watch one episode, you're like, this is alright.
You binge.
He's like, oh,
Binge
wow, I guess
culting.
I'm in it. I guess I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, this probably
Drive
has
to
its,
survive.
probably has its benefits. I was in like a semi cult.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in
What?
like a pseudo cult.
What is?
It was like
What is it called? Are you in?
it was like this kind of like this Turkish school
Is
that
it
my
here?
yeah. Like my parents sent me to it. I was like this Turkish school, and
Did they know they were sending?
yeah, they kind of did know, which which doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they sent me
tell
to it,
me
and
about
like I was like having troubles at the school.
what, in a regular school or something?
It's not really a regular school. Everyone in the school is either Turkish or of Arabic descent
Okay.
in some way, form, or other. Like they were just those.
And the benefits for your parents is that they know if they send you there that you'll get to learn the language or something.
It
Like-
was like, oh, we'll discipline them, but it's
they use
Yeah.
their style of discipline.
yes, so they tried that, but
Okay. Fuck.
but the crazy part was I just told them I was an atheist, and that just like it kind of like ruined the school.
Oh.
Because it was like they'd never met someone who was like I was like it was like Plato's cave.
You broke the
I
cult.
was the allegory. You know, I was like, there's a bigger world out there. And they were like, well, no. They're like, no, that's not real. But yeah, pretty much like when I was there, they were literally trying to like indoctrinate everyone into this thing.
Yep.
Well, everyone was already in it because they'd just only gone to that school.
Yep.
And so when I was there, because like my family, they're not like Sunni religious. They're like it's called Alevi religion. It's like there's like sects of Islam. And so I was like the opposite one of what they were.
Sect.
Yeah.
SECT.
SECTS, yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to tell them I was that. So I just told them I was atheist, which was crazy.
You said it broke the school.
It broke the school.
So what happened?
Man, when I was at school, I remember going to class. I went to the religious class,
Yeah.
and
So there's like, I'm just imagining the school, English, math class, science maybe, and then a religious class.
religious
Is
class.
that kind of what I'm somewhat?
It was like other schools. Like I went to an Anglican school as well. They were like, oh, this is the religion. I guess the Anglicans don't really care. They're just like, yeah, this is our religion. Follow it, don't follow it. If you're not against us, you're with us, sort of. But these guys were like, no, you're doing this.
Right.
You're doing this. And so when I went there, when they found out,
When who found out? Your parents or the school?
not the school, there was like a town meeting in the school.
Get the fuck out.
I swear to God, it was
You
crazy.
made them
I swear to God, how
have it.
funny is that? I swear to God, I was an atheist.
I swear to God.
And so when I was in the school, they had like a little. They must have all collaborated and had this like little thing that's going on.
I'll just tilt it up.
Is that better?
That's
yeah,
better.
we're
That's
back.
better.
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah.
And so, during the religious class, they would say something about the religion, about Islam.
Yep.
And then they would say, "Isn't that right, Adem Ulutas?" And they would look at me, and I'd be like, what? For the whole lesson, I'd be like, "This is crazy. I can't believe this is happening." And so they all like turned on me, and then they were having like because I remember talking to like another teacher who like wasn't even my teacher.
Yeah.
He was like my last year's teacher,
Right.
and he was like, he came up to me and he's like, "Oh yeah, they're all talking about it," and I'm like,
You're the talk of the town.
"I was talking to town." I broke the school, and then people were like coming up to me like arguing with me, and then some of them were like, "Oh no, we're still gonna be your friends." They're like, "We're still gonna be your mate. Doesn't matter, you know."
We're loyal.
Yeah. They're like, "We don't care." And then I don't know. It was kind of like me versus the teachers.
Yep.
And then, but that school was wild. That school had like crazy things happen.
Right.
Like one of the teachers like choked one of the students. It was like a year 8 student, and then
So when I hear choked, I go,
it's so funny.
yeah.
It was so funny, and then the kid like he grabbed a chair and then he threw it at the teacher, and then the dad came to the school, and then the dad tried to fight the teacher, but the teacher still kept his job.
That's crazy.
How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
That's the type of school I went to. Teacher still kept his job,
No.
even though he assaulted.
Assaulted a
Assaulted,
child.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's not a government.
Still kept his job. That's
So
that's the Turkish way.
But that's not a government regulated school.
He couldn't speak English. the teacher couldn't speak English.
Yeah, I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The teacher couldn't speak English.
Yeah.
He was literally unable to speak English, but they only gave him the kids that could speak Turkish. So he could only teach that class.
Right. Okay.
And then
Okay.
they would
Makes
separate
sense.
people racially as well. So
Segregate.
yeah,
Racial
100%,
segregation.
100%.
Bro, how old are you? Where the fuck was this?
This is still it's still happening. The school's still going.
I'm thinking, we got to just be careful with the camera because
Oh,
it's all
sorry.
connected. That's all right.
Yeah.
We got to be careful that we don't we just contextualize this a little bit because
Why?
you're talking about stuff that we think is from a bygone era.
No,
but
it's
here
not
you are. How old are
bygone.
you?
31,
31?
30.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
gonna eat these.
So this was only 15 years ago. Let's just say 15 years ago.
What did racism end?
No, I'm not saying racism ended, but like racial segregation.
100% they did. They'd have 3 classes. They'd have the smart kids in A, and then in the B class they'd separate like the Arab kids. That's what they'll do. I'm not kidding.
Smart kids versus Arab kids.
And then the C was the dumb Turkish kids. So in our class,
So
because they'd bring teachers
Okay.
in that would only speak that language.
Who's a smart kid then?
It's whoever did well.
Okay.
They just put them up.
But then you said then the class B was the Turkish kids, or like no,
Oh, the B, yeah.
which kids? Again?
Arab kids.
Arab kids.
Yeah.
So you could be Arab and smart and be in the smart class. You have to think a lot about this, and this is
I can't remember.
frightening. This is
I
frightening,
can't
bro.
remember because they would only teach us Turkish, and they would only teach because they'd have language class where they would teach, and they'd have a religious class, and in our religious class they'd speak Turkish to us, but in their religious class they speak Arabic to them.
Okay.
So
I
most of the
understand.
classes were pretty much, that. But they would say, "Oh yeah, we're not a religious school." It's crazy. It's crazy. You want one of these?
Yes, I would love.
Which one you want? You want the hazelnut
That
or
is crazy.
the
What do you got there? What is it? What are they?
cannolis
From where?
from Brunetti's?
That is sensational, bro. That joint is crazy good.
Oh, sometimes.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
Sometimes.
look, I'll just grab the vanilla one, I suppose.
I think it's hazelnut.
Hazelnut? Yeah.
Yeah?
I like hazelnut.
Grab it. Thank you. I think you can grab the thing underneath it as well. Yeah.
Just take a little tray with it.
Yeah. Go for it,
Thank
brother.
you so much. Have a look at this thing. This thing's wild. This thing's thank you so much,
Nah, it's all good.
bro. Thank you. This
Cheers,
is
bro.
amazing.
Just a little
like-
intermission from my
From your crazy cult story.
crazy cult story. The thing is, my parents, they knew it was a cult.
Yep. So they knew. But what they didn't know was that you were going to go in there and break it.
Maybe they did.
So you're telling me that your parents planted a mole in the religious school.
Unintentionally.
So
I guess so. How could it have gone well? What was I going to do? Just not talk to him? Never
Yeah,
talk to him?
they're
I remember one
implicated.
time, because I ate pork, I love pork.
an accessory to breaking a school, your parents.
I love pork.
You love pork.
I love pork. My favourite.
And
I was
that-
going to buy you some.
That's against. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's against the religion.
Yeah.
Right.
So I used to make like, in my family we eat it. We don't care.
Okay.
So I used to make like salami sandwiches,
Yep.
and then I used to go on the toilet and eat them.
Right. That's so bleak.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah.
That
yeah.
is so bleak.
Yeah, yeah. I used to go to.
So you had to go to the toilet to eat them because if someone at the school found out that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were eating them, what would have been like the
Oh.
repercussions?
I don't know. Fuck. God knows. Who knows?
This is delicious, by the way. Thank you so much. This is awesome. It's got to be in the top 5 food items ever brought. For
Really?
sure. Oh, for sure.
It's pretty cheap.
Comedians, hello. Wow.
I got a mate who makes them like fresh. These ones aren't really that fresh.
But they're still damn good.
Have you had cannoli before?
I don't have them very often. It's
Oh.
like someone's 50th birthday thing, you know, when they're on the table or whatever.
Oh, you can't eat them
Special
like that.
occasion
No, no.
thing.
There's a place called Cannoli Bar in Avondale.
Right.
Where do you live?
Ascot Vale.
Yeah, there's one there. Cannoli Bar.
Where?
Ascot Vale? Avondale. Where's Ascot Vale?
Between Mooney Ponds and Footscray.
There's one in Avondale. Italian guy.
That's a bit further north, like Essendon-ish.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you drive like,
Italian guy, yeah.
oh my god, it's crazy.
For real?
He makes like the shells fresh, but these ones the ones we're buying are like in the shell already. He puts it in.
Oh,
So
in front of you?
in front of like well, not in front of you, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah. They go in
Fresh
the back.
that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. It's so fresh, like in the hour, like right in front of you. Yeah. As soon as you order it, which is the best. Like that's how you should make it for sure. But yeah, I used to go to like an interesting school. It was interesting, man. Actually, Bilal went to the same school as well. Did you ever meet Bilal? Do you know Bilal?
No, I haven't met him.
Bilal Hassoum. He went to the same school as well, and he told me.
What, did you
Same
know
school as
each
me.
other at the school? Or did you find out
I think
later?
I think we met at the school. Yeah. I was pretty popular.
Wild.
Yeah. I think he remembers me, but I don't really.
Of course, you weren't just popular, bro. You were the talk of the town.
I was talking to town. Yeah, for sure. And then I used to sell M&Ms too. I used to sell boxes of M&Ms
At the school?
Yeah. I was like a hustler.
So you used to sell boxes of M&Ms that was allowed.
No, they pulled me up on that. They were like, you can't.
Well, that reminds me. When I was in high school, I used to sell cans of Coke.
There you go. Yeah, I was hustling.
I was hustling too. $1 each.
Man, I used to have this crew. There was about 5 or 6 people. One of them, he used to like hang out with us, but we knew he was like sketchy, like because we used to go to like before school. We used to get dropped off because we lived so far away. It's in Broady, the school, and I lived in Taylors Lakes, so they would drive us. The school bus would drive us to the school, but they drive us there, and we get there like 8 o'clock. So we've got like an hour to kill. So we just go like buy some food or whatever. We'll go to like the mini market.
Yeah,
Whatever.
sure. You had some time. Yeah.
And so we would see this guy who was kind of like in our crew, but not really. And he would steal from the mini market, right? And we're, what are you doing, man? Like, if you want something, we'll just buy it. Like, everything's cheap. It's like in the middle of Broadmeadows, it's a convenience store. Like, everything's like $1.
Yeah.
Anyway, he would steal. And then one time, we come to school, and they're like, "Oh, he's been expelled." And we're like, "What happened?" He robbed the canteen. Him and his brother did it, and we were like, that's fucking crazy. Why would you do that? Why would you rob a canteen?
Where are they now?
Honestly, I reckon they're rich or in jail. Either one. They've got 2.
Legit.
Yeah, or they're like back in Australia.
Have a look at that guy's afro.
Hey man,
That afro is as impressive as this podcast, bro. I love that. Thank you for saying that. Can you say that a bit closer to the mics? I'm kidding.
we're joking.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Hey,
guys.
enjoy yourselves. Fucking afro's legit, bro.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, yeah. I used to have an afro. Yeah, just never got a cut. Just turns into an afro.
Now I'm picturing this dude with an afro selling M&Ms at this school where he's literally the talk of the town.
That's what I was doing.
You were a hustler. All right, so where were we?
Where were we? We're
So,
in Broadmeadows.
okay, so you met Bilal there.
Oh yeah.
You were talking about...
I'll tell you about Bilal. Bilal goes to me, and he goes, man, I've been telling people about school.
Yeah.
And he goes, no one believes me. He's like, now that he goes to me, now that you were there, he goes, everyone there, because they're in it, he goes, they're all gaslighting him. And they're like, oh no, I wasn't. Oh no, they thought he was gaslighting them. They thought he was lying about it, right? And he goes, but since I met you, you're the only one that can vouch, right? I was like, that's crazy.
You're my fact checker.
That's what he said.
IRL.
He goes, since that, he goes, he's like, I'm so happy to have met you.
He felt seen.
He felt seen,
Finally.
yeah. So, yeah.
That sounds traumatic as, bro. That sounds legit. Like, nuts.
When you're in high school, nothing's really traumatic. You're just doing stupid shit, and then, you'll like sit on a train track, and you're like, oh, that, that wasn't that bad. You'll sit on the edge of something, and you just won't care.
That's true.
But
we did dumb shit when we were
you
in high
did
school.
dumb shit. That's just what you did because you didn't see the danger.
I don't condone it to my high school audience. Just fucking, be safe. Be safe.
Yeah. Well,
But
you don't know what safe is, though.
Train surfing was the big thing that was happening back when I was at school. Like, you'd see it on the news. This dude was train surfing, and he hit a bridge. And I'm like, dude, how could you not see the bridge?
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Insane. Trigger warning to anyone.
We had planking. Planking was a big thing. Well,
yes, I remember that phase.
and they'd plank off like crazy stuff. I think I don't know.
People die doing that stuff, yeah?
People die just doing anything, really.
That's true.
So
People die.
we just, if they were doing that thing, we're like, oh, it's bad. But
I saw this video once, and I'm not sure if it was real or if it was fabricated.
Yeah.
Because the internet, right? Of a guy who was one of those, what do you call those, like free climber guys?
yeah,
And he scaled up to a real tall, like enormous tall building.
Yeah.
And lost his grip.
oh my god.
Yeah.
There are people that do like rock climbing without. You love it. The people that do rock climbing without any harnesses, they'll just go.
Free climbers.
Yeah, free climbers.
Yep. Yeah, and some of them die.
Free fallers.
Yeah. It's so dark. Are you on the dark comedy night in South Melbourne?
I am not.
You need to be with that material.
South Melbourne. Yeah. What else did I do in my life?
Well, hang on. No, we have not exhausted this thread.
We haven't. Okay,
No,
all right.
because-
I'm all ears.
Okay, well, we have not. Hi. We have not exhausted this thread because I don't know how it ended. Like, so.
Oh, they kicked me out. I went to Turkey, and when I came back, they were like, "Oh, your grades aren't good enough for you to be here." But I
that
heard
was their excuse.
what I heard was they were
so weak. That's such a weak excuse.
yeah. They're like, we're a private school, we have standards. I'm like, yeah, sure. It was such like it was so obviously biased that it was just funny.
Yeah.
Do you know when they're obviously not actors, they can't act, but they're trying not to be racist.
Yes.
Or whatever, ish. So whatever.
Discriminatory.
Discriminatory.
Yeah.
But they did some really weird things to try and stop.
Okay, I want to hear about these.
They would just like say I'd had meetings or something.
Yeah.
And like, oh, your parents have to come in, and then they just not go.
Your
Like
parents
they
would
do
not-
stuff like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but they do like, oh, your parents have to come in, and then be like, oh, we don't have an appointment for them. And so my parents would come, and they'd be like, well, we're here. And then they're obviously, with their third grade education, trying to argue with my mum, whose English, is very good.
Right.
But they're usually speaking to people who barely speak English, so that they'll just go a couple of words in English, I'll push it to Turkish. But when they argue with my mom, they're gonna lose. They're just gonna lose because you can't argue with an angry Turkish woman who's eloquent.
You can no, you can't.
No, you can't. It's
An
impossible.
eloquent one.
You
you can't
well,
argue
eloquent
with an
towards
eloquent
yeah.
person.
Eloquent in comparison to
For sure.
their substandard
Their
of
standard, yeah.
especially and the custom differences where they've got well, this works in Turkish culture, but you're not speaking to a Turkish cultured person. You're speaking to someone who is solely of Australianism, right? She's got Turkish roots and she's got that, but
She's third culture.
but we're eating pork. We're we're like
Yeah, we're different.
we're completely different. We're not in that thing, so they don't know what to do, so they're just making up stuff. It was very interesting.
And then they just eventually you came back from holiday and they were like, no more you
Yeah. They're like, you gotta
because you're ruining our school too much.
And I didn't want to stay there.
Other kids are getting influenced by you.
Yeah.
You're wrecking our game.
I was like the circuit breaker, really.
Yeah.
I just they'd just say something and I'll be like, that's not true. I just shout it out. I just feel like that's not true. And that in a cult is the worst thing you can say.
Yeah. So you had this debate-ish streak in you from a young age.
Yeah, I don't know where it started.
Wow.
Really. I guess probably started from my parents, really.
Yeah.
The argumentation.
The rational exploration.
I would say it's irrational logic.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah? Well, prove it. Which you can't win. You can't win that debate.
No.
I've tried
Yeah.
many times, and so I quit that. I quit that school. It was so far as well. I had to get up 6 a.m. To go to a school. They hate me.
Neither party wanted each other.
Yeah, I heard years later.
It's like a good breakup that needed to happen.
Yeah. I heard years later that they were because they're we got all these really high scores, and I'm like,
As an education.
ATAR scores.
Right.
I'm like, how did you get high ATAR scores? I'm like, I know these people. They're dumb with them, right? When you're looking at them, you're like, there's no way
It's
you
just
got.
marketing.
Okay, there's no way you got 80, 89 on your ATAR. I'm like, it's out of 100 for your international listeners. It's out of 100. They give you a score, and they were because they've segregated us already. We already know who's smart and dumb.
Yeah.
But the people with me, right, who were in the dumb class, we were it's inconceivable to even think that this person had a chance. Like when I was with them, they could barely string a sentence together.
Yeah.
And I think I spoke to one of them. I was like, have you been to Broadmeadows Shopping Centre? And he was like, no. I'm like, you live in Broadmeadows. What's your life been?
Studying for the ATAR.
No, he wasn't studying. He would just go home, play COD till 4 a.m, come to school, and then that was his life. Everyone would just say, oh, that's what he does. And he got a crazy score. So what they were doing is they were giving him scores. They were doctoring all the
exams.
They were doctoring all the exams, and they were giving him higher scores.
That's such a scandal, bro.
It's crazy.
That is such a scandal.
It's not a scandal. They all do it.
Did they get busted or what?
So what happened was
They all do it. They all do it.
So what happened was there's a.
This is blowing my mind.
It's not that crazy. Maybe I guess it is crazy.
I thought there was integrity in the system, bro.
In a system.
I thought there was integrity in the system.
There's no integrity.
There's a body that governs all this, you imagine, so that you can't fake people's scores. I'm naive.
If we're gonna do you can't fake things, we'll be here for hours.
Okay, sure.
We'll be arrested.
Yeah. No, of course. It's very safe in my head, bro. I'm very naive about certain things.
Oh, of course
I go through life with goodwill.
Providence.
Yeah. Whatever that means.
It means you want the good for the world.
And I assume good
a
lot of the time.
That's great.
And I like living like that. But sometimes someone tells me something like this that's not really that earth-shattering that I find earth-shattering in a way.
Yeah.
That's the downside of it.
Yeah, they used to give out scores. Oh, I was gonna say something else. They were just. Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't realize it was a cult. Like I didn't understand the political ramifications of it at the time until there was a coup in Turkey.
Okay.
So there was a coup in Turkey, and because there was a coup, I found out that the people that were getting kicked out of Turkey, the people that they blamed for the coup,
Yeah.
that had to flee to America, were the same people running the school.
Oh.
And that's when I understood the totality of it.
So there was a certain sect of people in Turkey that were governing these education systems.
There was an elitist class in Turkey that had a grip on parliament, on like government, and also they had these schools which were all around the world that were funded by them.
School.
Huh?
And that was your school.
And that was my school that I went to. And so they changed the name after the coup.
Indoctrination, hard.
They changed the name after the coup.
What did? Oh, that's what they did. They just rebranded.
They rebranded.
They just pulled an Elon Musk and said, "We're X now."
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
It's called
my God.
Ceres College or something like that, or whatever. Serious.
So they didn't get shut down. They didn't get investigated. They just rebranded and voila.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's weird when you say voila.
Yeah. What does it mean in some language?
Like wallah, which is like it's God. Like
isn't it?
I pray. Like I swear to God.
Yeah.
In
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah. But in English we say wallah. It is interesting how we say that.
Is it like is it like a French or Italian or Greek saying and there you go kind of thing?
And they yeah.
Yeah.
On in our country, in our culture.
No. I was just thinking about because you know how
it is. Yeah.
you know the word. No, we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, I'll skip past that bit.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
When
man.
the Chinese people say
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's move.
Let's move around.
Yeah.
Deviate. So yeah, okay. Where are we now? We are now. You've been expelled from, or no, you've been asked to leave, and it's a mutual breakup. And
Yeah.
now you are getting on with your life somewhere.
Yeah. There was a lot of resentment, probably towards me.
At home,
Oh, for sure.
because you were the. You have brothers and sisters?
I got a brother and
Younger?
like a half sister.
Young, are they younger than you?
Older brother.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're the disappointment.
Lot of fights. Lot of fights. Yeah.
Savage way to grow up.
Well, yeah, you know.
Normal.
That's everyone says it's sad. Yeah, I guess it is more savage, you know.
Yeah.
There is some savagery.
Tension.
Oh,
at
yeah.
home.
Still tension.
To do with the school.
Oh, yeah.
And the
sure.
beliefs.
My parents are like, not really my parents in terms of like, they don't really have an influence on my life as much as they think they had. You know, like they were divorced and my mum was like single mother, so.
And trying to work and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Your dad was busy with work and stuff.
Oh, I barely saw my dad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
What
you
do you?
were raised by the people around you, whoever was there.
And when I was going to that school,
Fuck.
probably no one really. Maybe I was staying like at my grandparents' house,
Mm.
but you just do shit by yourself. There's no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can relate to that in a way.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You just.
Yeah.
That's life.
You
You go
late
home.
night TV. I used to watch Letterman at night.
I used to
all
watch
the time.
so much TV. I watched Letterman too. I used to watch that heaps.
Letterman. And I used to watch the Formula One like on a Sunday night. I used to just stay up and watch.
Letterman sucked.
Till like 2 a.m.
Letterman sucks so bad. I just stay for the top 10. Everything else was fucking. I was like,
It
what is
sucks
this?
now when you compare it to other things. At the time, it was one of the best shows on
I guess
TV.
so. I guess so. It was nostalgic. I don't know if it was good.
He had great guests on. They were celebrities and stuff. And the band was sick. Super tight band. Phil.
yeah.
Was it Phil?
The bald guy.
Yeah.
Phil.
And I used to just love the way he just would just, like just captivate the audience.
He was
And
very
he was
smooth.
so consistent.
Yeah.
Like every episode of Letterman was like like this could be any episode of Letterman.
Yeah.
He'd walk in, do the same like 3 to 5 minutes of stand up at the start of the ep, make people laugh, ha ha ha, and then get on with the show. But there was some good segments and stuff in there as well that were funny segments that he'd drop in.
I like the top 10. I think the top 10 was good.
Was awesome.
The top
I
10 was
remember
good.
laughing my ass off at some of those top 10s.
Top 10 was good.
We need to do
I think Craig Ferguson was good.
Who's that?
He was like,
Another late show guy?
yeah, he was like a Scottish dude.
Mm.
And then he would come on and
think
he
I
would
know the
just
guy.
he'd just riff with whoever was in front of him. He'd have no script or anything like that. They just it'd be crazy. I like that way more. Can't remember watching.
Well, these
TV
sound like
when I was-
influences for you because now you're doing stand up and now
Yeah.
you're running rooms and you've done a couple of podcasts as well. I noticed.
I have. Yeah.
So you've gotten right into like the media, content
Landscape.
creation.
Yeah. I think I've gone away from it though slightly. Yeah. Like
Well,
you can
Some things are phases in life, bro. Sometimes we go through a phase and that phase is good for us because we learn something in that phase. And, there's the benefit of hindsight where I'm like, the kids' book taught me this because I wrote a children's book.
You're a children's book. Nice.
Yeah, I wrote and illustrated a children's book and tried to sell it. I also used to teach people
Sweet.
how to skateboard on St Kilda Beach, both for free in the first year and then paid the second year.
You wrote a book. That's very impressive.
Well, it's a children's book, bro. It's 300 words.
It's very hard to write a children's book.
And yes,
extremely hard.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I only wrote one, but like at the time, it was like that was the thing I was doing.
Okay. Yeah.
And now I'm not doing those things anymore, but I learnt some things through those things.
But
And same with you and podcasting and all of that.
For sure.
Like surely you've gone, all right, that was a good phase.
It was
I'll
fun.
write something.
I do enjoy it. It's just
A lot of work.
oh man, I
We were
can't
talking about this the other night.
I can't be there to like edit, put it online. I did one where I just go on and riff for like 20 minutes.
Yep.
Which I think is the best thing if you want to do like self-expression or improve your comedic ability. For generating material, that's got to be like the upper echelon of self-expression. You sitting at home in your room just fucking around. Ranting,
Yeah.
talking shit, explaining the day, using like your prose and your ability to describe specific details,
Yeah.
characteristics
true.
and scenes, and then coming up with just something funny to say at the end of it. Like, but that translating that onto the stage is very, very hard.
Yeah, it would. Because on the stage, you've got to be very calculated. And there's a lot of timing involved in comedy and joke telling. So it is different.
Can be.
Yeah.
I'm last night, which what I was trying to achieve, I achieved it. It was like you're just completely free, and I just didn't care.
Really?
I was
You
like,
were in the flow, like a flow state.
I don't know if it's necessarily flow state. I don't think that's an accurate depiction.
Maybe
of,
I'm romanticizing it a bit.
I think they have romanticized this.
But you were in
think
a groove.
I think the flow state is like you're doing it and then you're not really thinking and it's just happening.
Sure.
Yeah, what I was doing was like, I knew it was going to be bad, and so I just, you just go to a place where you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think that's flow state. I think flow state is kind of like you're doing this thing, and then you go into the groove, and then once you're in the groove, it just works. It's like this. It's like I would probably analogize it with making a pastry or something, right? You're like, I did this, and it just all flows. But what I'm doing is like, I'm getting the pastry, and I'm slamming it on the floor, and I'm stomping on it, and then I'm like giving it the people's elbow, and everyone's like, what are you doing to this pastry? But the thing is, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. Or that's where you've always been at. But who is to judge?
Comedy's an art form. It's a performance.
Yeah.
Part of it is telling jokes, and the other part of it is just waking up the audience.
Yeah.
Warming them up.
Warming them up.
Getting their attention.
I think they have to like have like this specific groove. I think they got to get into a flow state of who you are.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, they got to like accept you for you, but they can't accept you for you unless you've accepted you for you.
That's so deep, bro.
So you got to like.
Oh man.
You can just say words, but like I bombed yesterday, right? I did horrible
Where was that?
at Dirty Secrets.
Right.
But it wasn't like horrible, but they were like, we liked it because it was just so different.
Oh, right.
So it was like irrelevant of how funny. It's supposed to be funny.
But they weren't laughing.
They
but
were laughing
liked
at times, but they were like, what is this?
This is scary. you were frightening them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you show someone your true self, most likely that person will run.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's
100.
That's pretty much like in any situation. You go on a date, you're not going to be like, "Hey, here's who I am." They're going to be like, no.
Yeah, you have to carry a mask on for a bit at least before and sort of give them the real you incrementally. Microdose on Adam.
Do you know who you look like? Dave Smith.
Never heard that before.
Oh.
I've heard other things before.
Who have you heard?
People said Russell Brand.
Russell Brand. Okay.
Back when I used to work at this club up the road, people would say Drake all the time.
Drake.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but they would just like randos week after week would say, "You look like Drake," and I'd be like, I "Fucking hate that guy's music."
Yeah. Some of his songs are good. There's a few good ones.
Yeah. Not really a fan. But I can tell why he's so popular. And as Pete, I used to get Pete Sampras, the tennis player.
Yeah.
Are you too young for Pete Sampras?
I know Pete Sampras is.
Yeah, I used to get him, and I thought that was a mad compliment because he was world number one for ages, but he wasn't just world number one. This guy was an exceptionally damn good, like entertaining tennis player.
Yeah.
And his most famous shot was the jump smash. The jump smash. Only Pete Sampras in the history of tennis plays the jump smash.
It's a swing.
Yeah.
It's a.
Okay. So in a tennis court, right, in the tennis game, sometimes when your opponent's like way out, they still manage to get their racket to the ball.
Yeah.
And the only thing they can do, because they can't hit a proper shot, is just try and get one more in the court. So they'll hit it up high. And that's in order to buy themselves time to get back into position. And the ball's gone high. Now, what they teach you in tennis school is to stand still, set yourself up like an archer a bit, and wait for the ball to come down. And as it comes down, smash it. So it's kind of like a serve, but you're standing at like in the middle of the court, and you're going to smash it, and that's going to be the last shot of the point because you're going to bounce it up and it's going to hit it. Some kids will, in tennis school, some kids will wait for it to bounce and then smash it.
Yeah.
Pete Sampras does neither of those two.
Oh, he just jumps.
He just fucking meets the ball at his highest possible point. And this guy was so athletic. He was like an NBA vertical leap. And he would just jump up and smash it. And it was honestly, one of the most iconic shots ever in the history of tennis. And I was like, you call me Sampras? Fuck yeah. So I joined Maroochydore Footy Club when I lived up there. And they were like, Sampras.
They called me Sampras. Oh, my God.
And then I moved in with these guys in St Kilda when I came back. And they said, "You look like Pete Sampras." And I was like, yeah. And then they called me basically Pistol Pete, which was his nickname for 10 years when I lived with him. Pistol Pete. Pete.
Wow.
Pistol is what they called me.
Just making it shorter,
Pistol.
Yeah. P. They're going to call you P.
Yeah. And then one of them called me, turned it into Spanish. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
La Pistola.
La Pistola. There we go.
Yeah.
You speak Spanish?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can talk, yeah. But it's not. I'm not going to have political conversations in Spanish.
You don't want to discuss the geopolitics of
I'm kind
Morocco?
Of glad. I'm kind of glad that I can't. But yeah, I can get it enough to get by.
You don't want to talk about the Moroccan...
No, I do not. I do not.
Spanish. No wonder. We're right next to Movida, man. No wonder.
Flies all over the shop here.
Spanish food is odd. I don't even know if it's good.
Why is it odd?
It's like, I don't know what it is.
Tapas. There's plenty of plenty of pork in Spanish food.
What is tapas?
Tapas is just like a tiny little dish.
Yeah. So what's the dish?
It's a baby dish. It's a snack.
Yeah, but they don't just eat snacks.
Tapas is just like snack after snack after. You'll just
Snack
you,
after
you'll just snack
Yeah,
on little things.
yeah.
It's like sushi. You know when you go to sushi, you get like one of these.
I don't eat
and
sushi, bro. I don't do that. I went to Japan, didn't eat sushi.
What did you eat?
Italian food.
You're kidding.
No.
Good Italian food in
They
Japan.
got great, like amazing Italian food. Yeah, because what they do is they get, this is the Japanese culture. They do one thing.
And they do it excellent.
They just do one thing.
Yes.
Just one thing. I've got a joke, like in Australia, like Japan doesn't have the entrepreneurial spirit of Australia. Do you know what I mean? They don't have like the kebab car wash mechanic.
Yeah.
Right?
That's so true.
They just, wellness center. They just don't have it, but we've got it here. There they just do one thing. So what they do is they get like this poor soul has a dream to be an Italian chef. He's watched Mario Kart 50 times. He's like, I'm going to be Mario.
Yeah.
And so he tries to be a plumber, doesn't make it, and then goes, I need to move to Italy. I need to go to Naples.
Yeah.
To the dome of
To
pizza.
home. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes there and he learns how to speak Neapolitan. And then he learns just one pizza.
Yeah.
Like, not 10, one pizza. And that's all he does. He stays there for 10 years. And when he comes back, they have an amazing culture of food. They've got shame. They have shame. We don't have shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have shame. Every
They
single
have shame. They do.
every single country.
That's why there's that's why the theft is so low in Japan.
Yeah.
People don't steal.
Look, I'm not saying it's good for your mental health. It's probably horrible. Shame is
horrible.
oh,
Lived
horrible.
with shame my whole life.
Yeah.
It's crippling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they have that, which it kind of feels like the more tortured society, the better the food, which is very similar to Andrew Schultz's joke.
That's a very bleak.
He's
joke.
like the more the society's like to the women stay in the kitchen,
Yeah.
the better the food.
Yep.
So that's his joke. It's not my joke,
Yeah.
but I've changed it. I've said the more tortured. But it's not necessarily true. You know what I mean?
No, it's
Like,
not. It's just a take on it, comedic take
If you go to North Korea, it's not like they got better food. Actually, they might.
Kimchi.
Kimchi.
South Korea. Oh, you're talking about North Korea.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. North
who
Korea.
knows?
They're Yeah, who knows?
They might have some culinary geniuses there.
Yeah, but who's taking the risk?
You just can't.
Who's
you can't
fuck-
even get in.
Who's fucking up the Emperor's meal?
You.
You know what I mean? Who's going, you know what, tonight we're going to try the duck meringue.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Kim Jong probably sends people to Naples for 10 years and says, "Come back and make me the best pizza you've ever
Oh,
made."
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because I ain't going to Naples.
Yeah, I went to,
You bring that shit over here.
when I was in Kyoto, they had this one guy, and he only made bolognese. I was like, can I get a carbonara? He's like, no. I was like,
You're that fucking customer. The shop's called
Hey,
the
he d-
Bolognese shop.
they did make it for me, but it was the next day. It wasn't that good. The
That's how
carbonara, yeah.
kind they are. Of
Yeah.
course it wasn't that good. He specialises in bolognese.
The bolognese was amazing, man.
What was so good about it?
I don't know, but they had like this cheese. It was like this high. They had like that cheese, and they, like, say it finished there. The cheese was up to,
Oh my god.
and you gotta go. I'll tell you the place. It's in Kyoto.
Legit. I've never been to Japan, but I'm dying to go to Japan. My kid's been to Japan.
Oh,
and
you
she
gotta
said
go.
it's her favorite. She said to me once, "Dad," she goes, "Dad, before the world goes ends or whatever, it's not.
World's
she's
not
not
gonna
even.
end.
She's not even that.
Yeah.
She's not politically biased, but kids say random stuff, right? She goes. She was kind of saying this point. Her point was, like, if I do nothing else in this world, I want to go back to Japan.
Oh, you gotta go. It's crazy.
That's how she put it.
You know how have you watched anime?
I don't watch a lot of anime because I guess I kind of skipped that era. I think the generation after me, like you're
Yeah,
about
yeah.
10 years younger than me, you had access to a lot more anime.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, early morning TV, Cheese TV, they
Yeah.
had Samurai Pizza Cats, and that's the closest I got to anime. And that wasn't, was it anime? Not like dark, dirty, brooding anime that some of the kids are watching these days.
Yeah, like Naruto.
That was more
yeah.
like, like playful anime.
Well, yeah, they had to start like they had to like go to like a
Groom
new
you.
audience. Yeah. They'd bring you into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you go to Japan, you'll be like, I've seen this place.
Yeah.
It's in your subconscious. You don't realize, and you go, oh, this is. You're like, I've been here. It's crazy. You'll have like this like Mandela effect of like I remember this place.
So it's like watching Godzilla, the movie, and going, I've been to New York before.
Well, if you go to New York, you'll have that. You'll be like, I've seen this.
Batman.
I get this. You know what I mean? But when you're in Japan, that happens too. But it's like, I've seen this as a cartoon.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
you're
sure if I've seen it.
So you've already got the image, but it comes to life.
That's sick.
Yeah. It's wild. It's really wild. And then just like the advancements in technology that we're never gonna be able to catch up to, are just supreme.
Yeah, and they've always been famous for that.
Oh, they're so good.
Like 30 years ago, people were saying that. You know.
Yeah, I got these headphones, 7-Eleven headphones.
So you bought them in a 7-Eleven in Japan. Yeah.
Still got them. I went last year.
Those are the ones?
They still work perfectly fine.
What about the sound quality?
Perfect. I put them through the wash. They're fine.
You're kidding. You put them through the wash?
Look how clean they are. I've had them for 6 months.
Yeah, they look just freshly washed.
They came out of the dryer.
And you know what they've done is they've made the cables flat, as you can see.
Yeah.
They've made the cable flat so they don't get tangled up easy.
Bro, $22 headphones. They ever lasted me so long.
Yeah.
So long.
That's
They
impressive.
answer phone calls. Middle one answers phone calls.
What, on their own?
No, you press it. But up and down.
I was like fucking
Yeah.
technologically advanced. These things are answering your calls for you.
Oh,
Hello.
Yeah, Japan's sick. You love Japan.
Yeah.
I went to Hiroshima. That's a fucking sad place, man. When you're there, you're like,
What's it like now?
well, yeah, I've only been there now.
I mean, like, the question is, like, is it...
Oh, it's just sad. It's fucking crazy. You're there and you're like, they tell you like what happened and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is horrible.
So that was the Second World War, and that was like pretty much right at the end of the Second World War, right?
Yeah.
They dropped an atom bomb
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Hiroshima, and it devastated the entire city.
Oh, this is what you do. If you ever want to go to Japan, you hop on a train.
Absolutely not. I'm not taking any advice from you.
This is what you do. You hop on a train from Tokyo to... I was in Kyoto. Kyoto to Hiroshima. It's about 4 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours. And you just play like a Dan Carlin Hardcore Histories podcast about it. And it gets you all the way to the point. Like you're just like listening to it and you listen to it and then you're like listening and it's like telling you like how like they've gotten rid of their samurai culture and it's like it comes all the way through like World War One and then into World War Two and then it explains the thing. And then when you get to Hiroshima, you're like, oh my God.
I just heard the bit.
You're like, fuck. It just gives you so much context all the way up until the moment.
And then you land there.
And then you're there, yeah. Oh, you catch the trains. The trains are like...
Bullet trains, yeah.
Bro. Crazy. You're on a train. It takes you 400 kilometers an hour. You're going.
That's so sick.
And like, if you were to put one here, I don't know why we don't have them here. We're just idiots. Get one from Melbourne to Sydney. 2 hours.
Well, I know.
2 hours on a train.
I know why that doesn't exist.
Qantas.
No. Well, there could be a conspiracy theory about that. But basically, because
The biggest airline in the country is
well, every state
course.
was a different thing. Think back, the centenary of federation was only like 10 years ago, whatever it was.
Okay.
So before Australia was a country, it was just a bunch of separate states, and they built the train.
United States for Australia.
Yeah, pretty much, and they built the train gauges different widths. The track gauges are different widths.
No way.
Yes, that's what I've heard, and it's verifiable.
But how do they get the train from Melbourne to Sydney then?
Which train?
You can catch a train from Melbourne and goes to Sydney.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they built a different track, or maybe there's a special changeover somewhere along the way.
Surely we can just build a new one.
I would have thought.
It can't be that hard.
I would have thought.
Like, it really can't be hard. Just do one to... Victoria should do one to the border.
But it could, like...
Do one to the border, and then they can do their border to their city centre.
Doesn't make any sense. This country is way bigger than Japan, but doesn't have a train as fast as Japan to get people from long places.
We are, like... We're so far behind.
We're a big country town here.
It's bad. It's bad. And they'll never improve it. That's the crazy part. It's not that, okay, we had this, we realised we should change. We won't.
But here's the thing about Australia.
We just won't. We're conservatives.
I was doing a massive mathematical equation the other day, and that was the percentage of people who are living in Australia versus the world. 8 billion people on Earth, 30 million Australians. Thereabouts.
Okay.
That
Top 1%, yeah.
It equates to 0.3% of the world's population. Now, not that there's any merit in just that statistic alone, but someone could argue, why would you bother wasting all this money on infrastructure for 0.3% of the world's population? That'd be a dumb argument, and I'm not going to get into a debate with you. I'm just saying...
Well, where's the climate change people when you need them? Do you know what I mean? Like, where are they? Like, climate's a problem. You build a train line. It's not that hard. Stop flying. Build a train line.
That's true.
Just get us to Sydney in 2 hours. Like, why? We've got the
train
technology.
run?
We've got
Electricity?
It'd have to.
Yeah.
It'd have to be electricity.
Doesn't
It's
have
a train line. Yeah.
Okay. 400 kilometers an hour is... Yeah. It's like Tesla. It's a Tesla of trains.
Yeah, I just don't know why we fly to Sydney. It's horrible.
It's an hour.
You got to hop on a bus or whatever to get to the airport.
Yes, that's
You got to take
true.
off your shoes.
So your gripe is that we don't have a train from Melbourne to
We should have
our airport.
We should have it. There should be a
Very
revolution
nice, right.
starting from this laneway. That we should have a train line.
I agree.
We're so dumb.
Yeah, I agree. It's very backward.
And I'm not smart.
But people come here, when people come to Australia, they come here for that sort of relaxed lifestyle. And I think that there's a double-edged sword with the relaxed lifestyle. Because yes, you'll get the relaxed lifestyle, but also you get the relaxed everything else that comes with it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
she'll be right. I mean...
It should be that relaxed.
That guy who was the premier of this state for far too long managed to raise a bunch of money to build this absolutely crazy. I mean, basically just taxpayer money, but raised, I suppose, support for the suburban rail loop. And this thing's, I think this thing is going to include an airport thing. But like,
who cares?
But like,
why do you need it?
Yeah, exactly.
Just get a train to.
The buses here are actually good, and they'll take you around
Yeah.
all the bits to fill in the gaps from. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't see the reasoning.
gonna get political. I hate that.
It's not necessarily political.
I don't care.
But yeah, like
I just don't like being negative, and I'm getting into a neg zone here.
oh, we can change the subject.
Yeah. I mean, like, we don't have to, but at the same time, like, we are deviating. We've gone on a mad tangent because I think there's a gap. There's a gap in my understanding of who you are.
There should be.
Yeah. We were talking the other night, and you said that you had this podcast, and you said that you managed to get a whole bunch of, like, notable guests on and stuff. And as a fellow podcaster, I can tell you that, getting guests on a podcast is part of the challenge. part of the challenge of the production. And I'm like, wow, you managed to sort of like really get some notable names on your podcast
Yeah.
rather quickly, or you through some hustle. And I sort of got this impression of you after meeting you, and then sort of going through your gram that you're a hustler. You're out there, putting yourself out there a lot.
Yeah, of course. If you want to know the secret, it's turmeric.
Really?
Just go and talk to him. I don't know why people are so. Just send him a message on Facebook, and it's like we've got a direct line to these people, and everybody is just like acting as though I'm just pulling. This miracle happening. It's like you just message the person, and most likely they'll be like, "Oh, can I see the page?" And you'll be like, "Sure," but as a caveat, you should be introduced with someone of notoriety. That's like the ethos.
Oh yeah, like a warm intro.
Your relationship will be determined by the person who introduces you.
Okay.
So the quality of your relationship will be determined by that.
Yeah.
So like if I was
very Australia too, by the way.
It's Australian. Oh, it's
it's very Aussie, very Irish. Irish are a lot like that. Like the quality of your relationships, expands your network.
Oh, I don't mean that like that. I mean like the quality of you. The quality of your relationship with that person will be determined by the person who introduces you to that person. Does that make sense? So if you're with me, because it's persuasion, it's rhetoric.
Yeah.
So rhetorically, it's going to persuade that person to, it's called ethos, to have higher ethos with you.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, this person is of rank. That is going to help me
Makes sense.
with that person.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So whoever you get introduced to, if you're with, I'll do it the other way around.
Yeah.
If you're going for a job, if you and me are both going for a job.
Yeah.
And okay, let me go one further back and then relate it all. How do you get a job?
The traditional route is to apply to an ad and send them your resume.
And then
wait for a call back, and hopefully you get an interview where hopefully you blow their socks off.
Okay, and then
you'll get a job offer or not.
But hopefully. What's before the job offer?
The interview.
What do they ask for once you've done the good interview?
References.
Why?
Because they want to see if anyone's willing to vouch for you.
Okay.
I work in recruitment, by the way. So these questions were hard.
Were they?
No, they weren't.
But that gets you the job.
The references.
The references is the only thing
they
that gets
seal
you
the deal.
Hey boys, say hi. Huh?
Yeah.
Feature.
Jump in. What's your name?
Aiden. Bill. Corey. Jack.
Where are you from?
Melbourne.
Are you in a band?
Yeah.
You fucking should be in a band. You guys look like you're a band.
Yeah.
For real.
Bass player jumps and I was like, hey.
Drummer.
He's singer.
You're a sports team. You're a sports team.
You guys.
So what? Butthole Bros?
Yeah.
The Butthole Bros, everyone. You've now met the Butthole Bros. Wave to everyone on the 360 camera.
Woo. All right, boys. Take care, boys. See you later.
Diaz.
Take care,
guys.
boys. Yeah.
Sit down, you guys.
YouTube, brother. YouTube.
They haven't heard of YouTube, bro.
Oh, they know you.
They're TikTokers.
So the thing that persuades them
we were
is
talking
that
about the references.
Yes. So the thing that persuades them is that. Now, I'll give you.
I would argue that. But
say it again. You would argue against that. Okay.
No,
sure.
I wouldn't argue against that. But yeah, I know clients that have already decided before the references.
Okay.
Yeah, but
let's do this now.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We both do an interview for a job.
Yeah.
On your reference card is your manager from your previous job.
Yes.
On mine is the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Who gets a job?
Given the Prime Minister answers the phone to that reference call, probably you. Probs you.
100% me.
Probs
that's
you.
not us.
That's
Thank you so much.
Very kind of you to offer that. Thank you.
You can have it. There you go.
Right. Instagram. Comedy.
Thank you.
Comedy. Yeah, and life. Yep. We're talking about job interviews right now.
There you go. Take care.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Prime Minister. So you rank ethos. Yes, got it, gotcha.
So-
Elbow, if I got elbow in my references,
100% you get the job. Doesn't matter what you're going for.
actually, this episode's going to air after the elections.
Wow.
So elbow could be a dud reference.
No, he's going to win easily.
Okay.
Not even close.
Yeah.
He's going to win by like a landslide. That other guy's horrible.
Yeah.
He's like
Voldemort.
Voldemort's so bad that people don't even like think like he doesn't even have like, oh, he's a bad guy style. Anyways, my point being is in terms of persuasion, that's the epitome of the relationship. They're going to be like, okay, we trust this person because of who they hang around with.
Yep.
So that provides you credibility.
Yep.
It's incredulous, but like you shouldn't believe in credulity, but the credibility works. It does work.
Well,
It's worked in
that's
the
how
top.
our species evolved. That's
Yeah.
how the Homo sapien,
Yeah,
developed
sure.
through relationship building. That's how we overcame the other Homo habilis
Yeah,
and whatever
yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
for sure. Well, look at like the top, the what's that guy's name, who did the pyramid scheme? He got caught. The guy just. Anyways,
is-
there was a guy who did like he did like this biggest
The
pyramid
most
scheme in the
famous
world,
one.
the most famous one.
I think this story's come through my brain at some point, but I can't remember who it was.
Well, people were just like, well, it can't be fake. Like we looked at it, it's legit. Like how can it be bad? So the people who were vouching for him, even though they didn't know, they were still vouching,
Yeah.
and so
'Cause it
they
was a
got
network.
yes.
That's so true.
So
that's how
that's
cults begin.
how government is. You think the government? Oh yeah, they're not going to be like this. They're not going to lock down the country, and you go, oh yeah, sure, yeah, and then it happens, and you're like,
People are still
Oh.
vouching for it.
yeah, you're like how does this, like, how do you keep your credibility after what happened in Melbourne?
Well, there's so much evidence to suggest that you've been corrupt. There's this chick on X. She calls herself Dan Fangirl, and she just will not, like, this guy cannot do nothing wrong. Has done nothing. Will never do anything wrong in her eye. And I'm just like, whoa, that's an insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's a cult.
Well, we're in like
Follower.
the most interesting time I think ever
In history.
in this country, especially because none of the institutions have any type of credibility. They've all lost. Like the education,
Yeah.
like the people that went through COVID know, like, and they were in school, know that the education system is a load of shit because they're like, we don't need to do any work. They kind of saw like the veil was like released. You can't trust the hospital. The hospitals are like insane. Like you go there and they're like full. They don't see you. That all the nurses quit.
They're understaffed.
They're understaffed.
Yeah. I mean, to all those people that
Yeah.
work in those services, like, hats off to you. You're incredible. You do incredible work, but you're understaffed, and that impacts your service. Yeah.
Which industry do we have credibility in? Like we don't. None of us believe in government. We're like that's bullshit.
Well, no one has humility. That's the problem with society. No one's like, when they mess up, no one's willing to say they messed up.
I messed up. Yes,
And
100%.
That's the biggest thing.
Everyone except Kevin Rudd.
But what did he say? What did he say sorry for?
I don't know.
Not
I
his
just-
own
I
actions.
just thought, yeah.
Yeah. He's talking about some historical. That was
Oh.
a historical sorry.
Yeah. He's also like an insane hypocrite when it comes to like apologizing for saying something wrong, because we only have our. Sorry to be political,
No,
but
no.
we only have our relationship with the United States. We don't actually have a relationship with anyone else, and he's the ambassador for it.
We're supposed to have a relationship with Britain and the UK because we're a Commonwealth country.
Yeah, but we're America's like little child.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
Because they're
So
the
why
big
would we-
superpower of the West.
why would
We're
we
the West?
why would we get an ambassador to America? That's against the current president.
Doesn't really make any sense.
It's crazy. Like, why haven't they sacked him?
Doesn't make any sense.
Like, they don't speak to him. Just sack him.
Yeah.
Trump said, "I don't want to speak to Kevin Rudd."
It's like the weather. It's like the weather person. I was going to say weatherman, but most of them aren't men anymore. It's like the only person in society that can consistently get their job wrong and still keep it is the weather person, because they'll tell you here in this city that it's going to be 20 degrees and sunny. You walk out that morning without a coat, and by 11 a.m. it's belting down rain.
Oh yeah.
And the weatherman person back on TV that night. Hello.
Yeah, it's
You
crazy.
can blame it on the Bureau of Meteorology, or you could just do your job. You're only on air for like 5 minutes a day.
Yeah, you reckon they look outside before they start? You reckon they're like, I think it's raining.
I reckon they should.
You reckon they should?
I reckon they should.
I never thought of that. You reckon they actually look outside and go, I don't know, I think it's raining.
I don't know. There's my mate Ravi. Ravi. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense.
They should do it outside.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they should. Yeah. Okay. If you're the weather person in this country, you got to do your job outside. You got to be outside to do your job.
I never thought of that. It's so stupid. Why wouldn't they go outside?
They keep their job.
They keep their job.
Yeah, the guy that I was doing it on Channel 9 when I was growing up, Rob Jow, was on air for 20 years. The guy surely didn't get the weather right.
Yeah.
Close to 30% of the time.
Tell you what he couldn't do. Read the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just couldn't,
Just couldn't read the room.
He just couldn't. He's like, "Oh, just look outside, man. Like, get some fresh air." Does anyone ever tell you? Just go, you tell the weatherman to go get some fresh air.
Yeah. Just step outside for a bit, bro. See what it's actually like out there on the street.
I get if there's a blizzard. Like, that would make sense.
Well, we don't get blizzards here. It's either going to be sunny or cold and wet and windy and rainy. Like, then there are two kinds of weather we get here.
Yeah.
But
we get
there's
really
no
cold.
humility built into society.
Or humidity. Is there humidity? I guess, look, I think there's always like a fine line between whether you should apologize for something or you shouldn't.
Well, if it was your mistake, then you should learn how to say sorry. Like if you've made an error.
Yeah, but
That's a simple, that's the base level, that's the entry point.
yeah, but the news doesn't do that. There was like a story yesterday that they were like, Russia's sent Indonesia a fucking message saying, hey, we're going to use your port. And then Dutton came out and he was like, oh, yeah, this is a failure of the Albanese government. And then it came out like as false. Like no one did it.
Yeah.
But no one's coming back and saying, I'm sorry.
We messed up.
But
Now,
should you? You don't know.
I mean, the theory behind that is that you'll lose credibility for admitting that you made a mistake. That's the theory of why people don't. Because I've discussed this with someone. I think it was one of the leadership coaches, and what she said is that these corporates, like, there's so many sharks circling around, like for a CEO's job, that if a CEO admits that they messed up, there's people coming for their job, like. It's very cutthroat at the end of that tree. So there's a culture of not
admitting your mistakes
so that you can hold on to your turf.
We do that. Turks do that.
How so?
We've got a whole genocide where we're like, I don't think we did it. It's fucking insane. We're like, oh yeah, it's just it just didn't, and then.
Or
that's
the Germans.
To the very highest. Like we don't even admit to that.
Yeah, you can't because then you got the Germans and they're still apologizing. They're still
they're the complete opposite, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're apologizing.
Well, theirs couldn't be swept under the rug as easy or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's easy to sweep under the rug. I'm just saying like they chose. Well, the world was implicated in the Second World War, right? And so everyone sort of cottoned on to what was happening. But the Germans are really scarred by that, and they are very apologetic. Might explain the lack of sense of humor with Germans. They're a hard nut to crack.
I don't know if I don't know if that's true. I think that's more of a myth.
What? That they don't have a sense of humor?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
just different. I don't think they're kind of
Very dry.
they don't. Do you reckon?
Very dry. There, please. That's not an opinion. That's a fact.
Yeah. See,
That's
so
objective.
who do you know that's that?
A dry German.
Yeah, go on.
A legit dry German. I've met some dry Germans.
So this is what we're doing. You're like, that's a fact, and then you go,
We're
okay, well then
debating.
mention it,
Well,
and then we're like,
I'll ask Siri.
yeah. Well, who's got a better sense of humor, the Russian or the German?
Probs the Russians.
Probably the Russians.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Think about it. They might have like
reckon-
just sitting around drinking vodka as soon as it hits 9 a.m. You know, of course they're telling jokes around that campfire.
But are we attributing like lack of masculine society to lack of humor?
Whoa. I don't know.
Because yeah, like they've
know where we're
emasculated
going.
Germany, which is like how they emasculated
Have they?
Japan.
Yeah.
Does that desensitize you from
Well, you were
humor?
talking about Kyoto, or was it Osaka? There's one of those two cities.
Kyoto?
That
They're
has-
like 40 minutes. They're like so close to each other.
Right. Yeah. I can't remember whether this is Osaka. Maybe it's Osaka. That it's known for people that actually play pranks on each other in the street. So apparently, if you go to Osaka, this is what I've heard, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Osaka, not Kyoto. I get the two mixed up in my head. And you do this to someone in the street, bang, they go. Like they always playing funny little jokes on each other. Oh, I love that.
I think it might be Osaka. Kyoto's very
Yeah.
very different.
Okay. Yeah.
What they say is like Kyoto's like the creation place where they like come up with all the ideas, and then Osaka they manufacture it.
Right.
So that's the relationship those two have.
Right.
So like the Nintendo factories in
Osaka.
Kyoto, and then or like the headquarters.
Yeah.
But I think they make them in.
Right.
That's what
okay,
what some Uber driver told me. Yeah, I was like discussing like the tales of Genji with him. and-
That's what I told myself. Are you talking about you? Talking to you in the rearview mirror while you were driving your
No,
own
no,
Uber?
no, I wasn't driving that car. It was crazy. He was wild.
Had some good conversations with Uber drivers, man.
He was a taxi driver. I don't think they have Uber there. Oh no, they do.
Oh,
They do,
so
they
it
do.
was there while you were there.
Well, I was
He
there.
was telling you.
Yeah, we were
That's
going
fine.
to some. You know where the cherry blossom thing is in Kyoto? You know they do the cherry blossoms in Japan?
Yeah.
I went to the place where they have it. It was out of season, but it's still nice.
Yeah,
It's still like a beautiful
it's like a
forest.
springtime thing.
Man, they got some magical forests. I
Mm.
tell you, they got some like. They really care about the aesthetic of the forest.
Mm.
Like it's like nature, but it's perfectly symmetrical
Wow.
and like the way they structure their gardens and their abilities to just like they can mesh the colors so that they're not too bright or too out of context. They're very, very good at it. Very, very good.
Mm.
We just don't have that. We're just like
You're Turkey's ambassador to Japan.
turkeys. Actually, in saying that, Turkey and Japan have like the same like language. Yeah, like if you take away like the words of the meanings, and you listen to like the way they speak, they sound exactly the same. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
Right.
forgot the link. There's some link between them, but the way they pronounce words, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So like if you hear like a Turkish person talking and put them next to a Japanese person while they're speaking, you can't tell the difference.
Mm.
If you're like
That's interesting.
you're not sensitized to the language.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You know, I was dating a Finnish girl once, and I was listening to her talk in Finnish, and I was like, you know, Finnish really strangely sounds like a blend of Italian and Japanese. And then she was like, oh, I never thought about that before, but
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. She's like, but you're right. And then she was just laughing about it for ages because she just started hearing all the words that she said, and she was like,
Yes.
oh my god, that sounds so Italian.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's got to be like some Latin influence on
Oh yeah, for sure. The world.
some
Yeah.
but not. I don't know how it links to Japan. Japan's really interesting because they were. I've got so many facts.
Dude, you
Keeping it up, aren't I?
Is that why you brought those 2 books? Are you just constantly reading and just absorbing information from?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
You seem like a student of life.
Thank you.
You would be great on trivia. Like you would be one of the. If I could choose 3 people to take to trivia, I think you'd be in the 3. My mate Ravi, who just walked past before, he'd be there because he's a sports nut, and they're always chucking sports questions in trivia.
Yep.
I'm pretty good with some like rando useless facts,
Well, these are pretty useless.
but just like not specific to any niche.
I'll give you some. I'll give you something that'll blow your mind.
Okay.
So Japan was like closed off to the world. They didn't allow anyone to go in.
When?
For like.
We lost light.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't know for how long for. I think maybe like 100 years.
Yeah.
They did not have no one could go in, no one could go out. It was a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Do you know when this was?
I know when it ended. It ended like I don't know, maybe like 1850s or something like that.
Okay.
And then as soon as they opened up, all of Europe just started copying Japanese culture. They all started copying it. So like you've got like all the artists from like the 1880s, 1890s, like what's his name? Debussy in France.
Debussy.
Yeah. He's got on his wall, he's got like Hokusai's painting, like the wave. He's got that, and he named his album La Mer. I don't know what that means.
It means the sea.
Things to see.
Yeah.
And
like the ocean, the
yes,
sea.
Yeah. And the album cover is Hokusai's painting. And like Monet also got lots of his inspiration from it. Also Vincent van Gogh. Vincent van Gogh he kind of had like this sketching style, which is not really seen in painting. Yeah. Because he couldn't paint.
Yeah.
Vincent van Gogh could not paint.
No.
He was like horrible at painting. And then he only painted for 10 years.
Yeah. That's wild. Yeah. That speaks to a lot about like the fact that when something's closed off, like imagine if there was a country, like imagine North Korea just opened up tomorrow. How many people right now, and the government was like, yeah, North Koreans opened up, safe, go.
Yeah.
How many people would just be at the airport now and go, oh, fuck, I need to see what's going on.
Let's go, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime.
And then you'd think that like, what's her name? What's her name? The breakdancer chick?
Raygun
would go to North Korea and come back with some actual moves.
K-pop.
She would come back.
I've actually listened to like the Dictator songs. They're great. I was listening to the album.
Who are the dictators?
Kim Jong-un's got an album.
Bro, when's the next trivia night? We need to make it happen.
It's so good. You gotta go.
It's been so good, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was watching some dude, and they have like they have songs just for him, which makes sense.
That's wild. That is so wild. Fuck.
Just a song.
You're teaching me so much today. I didn't know what to expect from this conversation, but it's been fun as hell. I'm glad you came here. We're gonna have to probably call it pretty soon,
mate,
because our lights disappeared and light is ending.
Light is ending.
We're in
post.
daylight
We're
saving.
in the post-truth world.
Yeah. We're in the daylight savings time.
Yeah,
so.
it is the era of artificial light, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Have you seen the effects artificial light have on you?
No.
Oh man, so bad. You know, there's like flickering in light.
Yes, that's why those screens refresh rates. They have refresh rates.
Yeah.
In 60s.
So when it's flicking in your eyes, you're actually having like a
seizure.
Yeah, like a little
seizure.
one.
That doesn't fill me with joy about sitting in front of a computer all the time, but yeah.
It's horrible for you.
But where can people catch you, bro? Where's the best place to connect with you?
Look, if you're gonna follow me on social media, I do absolutely no social media.
That's great
because I think it's the devil.
Yeah, it's good for some things.
That's why
marketing.
I'm coming here to to feed the devil.
Oh, look, social media is great. It's a great place to be introduced to new things that you might be interested in learning about. But it's not the place where we should live and spend too much of our time.
Do you know where's a better place? Inside your own head.
The planet. That is not a. That is not a. That is a great
But I'm
way
saying
to
you'll have so much fun inside your own. Like,
well, Goundry talks about that, right? Goundry talks about that in my most recent episode. He was like, we didn't have the computer at home when I was a kid, so I just played with a stick when I was a kid, and that's
Yeah.
where he developed his imagination. And like, yeah, for sure.
you should develop it. Yeah, for sure. I'm reading a book on imagination actually.
What's it called?
The Logic of Imagination.
Oh, sensational. Show the camera. Mickey.
Kiyoshi.
Oh, Japanese thing again.
Yeah, he's a very interesting man. He like created this like logic of imagination. He was actually
I got to get that book.
in the Kyoto. Oh, you won't. It's horrible to read.
Oh, really?
It's
Maybe
just-
the audio book.
You can't get it.
Right.
There's no audiobook. It's horrendous. You're not gonna. It's like subjectivity and objectivity.
Oh no, fuck that.
Oh, you can't. It's philosophical. So he was like a proponent of like the Kyoto school, which he was like an underling to Nishida. Nishida, something, whatever. And so he like creates this like how to like think outside of like institutions. So he creates like how to like
critical thinking.
yeah. So like he attributes like institutions to language. Like language is an institution. We've all decided this is what this is.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're like, oh, this is what it is.
How we communicate with each other. Yeah.
Anyway, they lock him up and he dies in prison. That's Japan for you.
Two outside the square.
He dies. He doesn't get to finish his final work because he dies.
That's crazy.
I think they torture him.
That's so bleak.
Yeah.
This-
Lucky he had a good imagination. Shit.
Bro, it's been so good to
All
have
right.
you on, man. Hey, it's
Thanks so much, man.
been a real pleasure having you on. I can't wait to release this. This has been a wild ride that you've taken me on today.
Man, I'm that type of guy.
And I appreciate you coming here and doing this with me on such short notice.
I'm a
And I
short
hope you've
notice
had a
type
good
of
time.
guy.
You had a good time? You had fun?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. I've never really talked about those things with anyone
That's great.
that's been forced to listen to me.
Well, they're enlightening things. But yeah, it's been awesome to have you. Can't wait to see you again sometime
Yeah.
during the festival, or I'll have to come to Smith Street.
Well, the festival ends in like
3 days,
less than that
2 days.
tonight. It's a long weekend. It's over.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
But yeah, thanks so much. For,
So I'll give you some predictions.
great. Yes,
Predictions.
you already
We'll-
predicted Albo wins in a
Oh,
landslide.
that won't even be close.
Yep.
There'll be some sort of. This is a big prediction. Turkey fights Israel.
Massive. Okay.
That's going to be big. That's going to happen, I reckon, in the next year.
That's huge.
That's going to be crazy.
Okay, we don't want war, but sure.
Yeah.
But they happen, so that's a prediction.
That's what I think.
Okay.
I think we're going to have some sort of like small time war where everyone's like ready. They're all going to like, they might like conscript us a little bit. And,
Okay, that's
well, yeah, there's like tariffs right now. What do you think tariffs cause? People to go broke. Well, as soon as they go broke,
trade war. Yeah, it's a
everyone just
trade war.
goes, well, okay, we don't have money. We have to fight. So that's what they do.
And that's what wars are famous for, is
That's-
stimulating economies.
That's, well, they make a country even more broke, but yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So that's going to happen. But another prediction, I'm famous because of this podcast. Nah,
Well, that might-
hopefully.
Yeah. Well, no. Fuck. Okay. Predictions to keep an eye out for. Adam, it's been so good to have you, man. I'm going to clap this one out. We lost our light.
That's one.
Let's just do it.
Thanks, Louis.
Thank you, Adam. Woo! You're a legend, man. You are a legend. That was fun as fuck. That was so much fun. Oh, I wasn't recording. I'm joking.
That's all right.
I'm joking, bro. I'm joking.